Hey, Russ. That's an episode of the Whiskey Crusaders. Really excited here to have Ian and Paul here from Brothers Bond. Just one of these super exciting because they just won some awards. Just freaking awesome. So, really excited to have you guys here. And I guess I'll let you guys, whoever wants to go first, tell a little about yourselves and we'll go from there. I think most of you guys know from your awesome TV show, The Vampire Diaries, but we're about whiskey, so that's what we're going to talk about.
Go for it, Paul.
Oh, you want me to go for it? All right.
Well, Paul was number 2 on the call sheet. I was number 3, which Paul liked to remind me of every day of my life. So
there you go.
It is brains before beauty, so I will go first. All right. Well, my name's Paul. Wait, what's the question? A little bit about ourselves?
Yeah, it's a little about yourselves, yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, my name's Paul. I'm one of the co-founders of Brothers Bond with my better half, Ian. We grew up on the East Coast. Grew up in New Jersey. Spent my time in Eastern Europe a lot. My parents were from Poland, and I didn't really fall in love with bourbon until I got cast in the mentioned show Vampire Diaries, and we moved to Atlanta, Georgia, to shoot. We lived there for 8 years, and really just got sort of immersed in the whole Southern bourbon culture, really. And, we drank bourbon on the show. We drank it off screen and fell in love with it. And, we've been talking about doing this for 15 years now.
Awesome.
So super excited to be here with you. And
appreciate
it. That's my kind of the 101, my general.
All right, perfect. Ian, how'd you get into it? Same way?
Yeah, man. I grew up, I'm a poor kid from Louisiana. So I grew up with whiskey was like culture, and it was always such an amazing thing. I'm Ian, one of the co-founders of Brothers Bond Bourbon, and with Paul and our CEO and partner, Vincent Hanna. Growing up in the South, bourbon was culture, but it was always this thing that was very inclusive. It wasn't exclusive. And there was no sort of socioeconomics attached to it. The guy who, my old man, he was a union electrician, was sitting there at a tailgate drinking the same whiskey as somebody who was a Fortune 500 CEO. And it's amazing to have that inclusivity. There was never exclusivity, and I remember that feeling, which was just amazing. So Paul and I, like you mentioned, these characters we played for 8 years, they bonded on screen over bourbon, and Paul and I bonded off. And Paul likes to remind me it was probably the only way he could tolerate me. So, but we, like Paul mentioned, we wanted to do this like season 2 of the show, which, by the way,
wow, damn,
2010. Well, we realized we're not stupid. I mean, we are a little bit, but like we realized, these guys are drinking. Our characters are drinking whiskey at 7 a.m. We thought, how amazing would it be if
it would be
had a whiskey? But we were so young. I was 31. Paul was like 27. What the hell did we know about,
Oh, that's a good time to start.
So this is where we are. We built this brand to bring people together, because we learned in the entertainment business that shared experience bonds people.
Absolutely.
Food and beverage bonds people. Bourbon bonds people. And the idea is to share together and bond. And literally not some bullshit marketing thing.
Yeah.
That's what we're about.
That's exciting.
Bonding.
All right, I'm going to pour some whiskey. I guess you already got. Do you want to start with which one do you guys want to start with? For you guys' products.
Well, we've been consuming this quite a bit because
we can do that. That works. I've got all 4.
I know it's we want to start with the lighter usually, but we're we're super proud of this one. It's our Bottled and Bond 7-year. It just came out. And as mentioned earlier, it's won a ton of accolades already. And New York Spirits competition, finalist, and is it it's a double gold? Sorry, it's a
awesome.
Yeah. So it's San Francisco, double gold,
San Fran,
finalist for best in class. San Francisco or New York, 96 points. It just got released on Wednesday of last week. Sorry, week before. We've been sitting on this for almost 2 weeks. Forbes released an article per the New York International Spirits Competition Tasting Alliance that Brothers Bond. I'll get you the article. Brothers Bond. You scroll down, first one you see, top 5 whiskeys in the world.
That's awesome.
Here's the catch. Ian wrote the article.
But can you
Hey,
imagine?
you might as well do it, right? Get the magazine's perfect.
Can you imagine? We sat on this for like a week, a little over, it's almost 2 weeks, but like that has changed the entire trajectory of our entire.
Sure, I can imagine it's gonna go crazy now for you guys.
Yeah. So Monday the sales have just skyrocketed, but you know, we're secretly really happy because one of the things that you think about with this, like what you smell this nose on this. This is a very special whiskey. This is our 7-year, right? We're not playing around. We, you know,
7 is a good price, definitely for age for sure. Is that the oldest thing you guys have put out so far? Now is the 7.
This is as long as we've gotten.
Okay.
And the thing about it is like we're actually kind of secretly ecstatic that the sales have just exploded since Monday, because listen, next year this is going to be 8 years. We have 6 years of this whiskey.
Fantastic.
Here we wanted to release this as an 8-year, but here's the real reality, man. To us it's so perfect, and it was damn near 100-point whiskey. What if
yeah, how to top that exactly?
What happens in 12 months if it changes? So
right, that's a good point. Yeah, that would suck to pull it, and it's not great like it was a year ago for sure.
So we're gonna run the line a couple more times. Do you taste that stuff?
Fabulous.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I'm really impressed. Like I said, a lot of times, you know, you get celebrity stuff, it's whatever. But you guys way into the nerdy science, the blending, and all that stuff, and super involved and really impressed with it. So
Thank you.
Really, really good stuff.
Anyone listening or watching, like, listen, and Paul has a really great note on this, which is there's a lot of celebrity brands. They're just
yeah, for sure, and most are not heavily involved at all, unfortunately.
And a lot of people slap their names on it. This is not.
This is definitely not the case for you guys.
This is our passion, and we work hard on the 2 things you need to be successful: story and quality.
Absolutely.
Quality first at any cost, which is a lot of cost.
Right. Yeah. Up front, I have no doubt it was a very expensive endeavor.
Just quality. And Paul and I, we push each other to just get better and better and better and better and better. Because you think about it, we did this 8 years every day together.
Right.
I also love I know it sounds so superficial, but I just love the bottle. I love
it's a nice pub.
I love the gold and the black. I love I love the tree, the beautiful gold tree. I'm just like a sucker for having like a really pretty bottle on your bar.
Totally agree.
I love this gold tree. It's just such I don't know.
Why the tree anyway? What's the tree represent for you guys?
The tree, if you look at the initial, I'll grab a bottle here. So if you look at, for example, our Cask Strength here, right? Or the concept of the tree was that it was the 2 brothers leaning against the tree. You see the 2 boys leaning against the tree.
Okay.
And then you have, and it's an oak tree, which, as we all know, bourbon is aged in oak barrels. And then you have the corn and the rye and the wheat and the barley are all the components of that tree. And so it's basically that the brothers bond. That is the brothers bond right there. We sort of created a 2.0, which is a more sort of simplified version of that with this gold echo, but it still has the same symbolism, essentially.
Okay, that's why.
You know, to get sort of like geeky about it, but the reality of it is like these boys, you know, what we wanted to create was, you know, years ago, Paul and I were huge fans of Casamigos. You know, obviously, Gerber and Clooney are just like the coolest mofos around. But they did something really special, and it was built out of a lot of passion.
Right.
And there was one simple organic figure in the middle of that label. We wanted that organic figure, but we wanted to put the boys in it, right?
Okay.
So if you look at that tree, you got these 2 little guys. They're butted up. They're joined by this tree. They're connected to it. And the canopy comes over, kind of protects them. You kind of look closely. They're kind of on a little bit of a hill looking down, really great perspective. And it just symbolizes nature and togetherness, right?
It's fantastic.
That was a big deal for us. And I think because the show has now been seen by a little over 1/8 of the population, like 1.2 billion people.
Wild.
But but again, we came from the entertainment space, right? Shared experience bonds people.
Absolutely.
Right? Food and beverage bonds people. Bourbon bonds people. So let's bring people together with an extraordinary quality.
That's why we're excited about the Bottled and Bond, because it's Brothers Bond, Bottled and Bond.
Yeah, which is really cool. Absolutely. Real quick here. So,
but also too.
Yeah, Ian, could you say hi to our friend Tara real quick?
What's up, Tara?
All right, there you go. Made her day. Appreciate it.
Rock, Tara. But also too, we're so involved in like grassroots that we just got the Tasting Alliance. When you win these awards, you can buy these little stickers, and we're going literally to stores. Obviously asking first, right, because the accolades are real. We're literally merchandising our own bottles. I'm sitting there literally putting these perfectly on.
Awesome.
Because you want people to know, when they walk into a store and they go, what am I going to buy? What am I going to spend my heart on? You see this label, you're like, yeah, it's cool. And then you see this double gold. And you're like, wait, what? And you might, Google it or ask one of the store managers or whatever.
Right.
Oh, yeah. This is one of the.
We should put gold stickers on ours and silver stickers on every other bottle.
That's a good idea. I like it. It's a solid marketing plan.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna go and put bronze stickers on all the.
There you go.
Yeah, it's pretty special time for us, man. The last week particular has been pretty wild with this sort of like explosion. But the thing about it is that we worked really hard to build a platform. You have this 80 proof with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
This Asheville is also this Cask Strength is also rated one of the top 10 whiskeys on the planet.
It's fabulous.
With multiple double golds, finalists for best in class. It's really special. And Paul and I both spent over a year blending this, and the Cask Strength is the same mash bill. That's what became this. So it was more about building something that everyone could appreciate. Right. People initially are like, oh yeah, of course, celebrities.
Sure.
80 proof whiskey. It's like, no, dude, this isn't a cash grab. Paul and I, we don't get paid.
Just a good place to start, yeah.
We never get paid.
Well, it's a good place to introduce people to.
Especially if people aren't used to whiskey, you need to really do an 80 proof first. If you don't, they will be turned off by a cask strength. It's just too hot.
It is.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's something too. Also, Paul, you and I, obviously our whole team, we work very closely on. Is just we have a very robust millennial female following, and we wanted to engage and actually bring them into something that was very special to us. Well, it's difficult to do that with a high proof spirit.
Sure, absolutely. There's no doubt.
But if you could build an award-winning one, this is our 80 proof is a 96 point rated 80 proof whiskey, which is very difficult to get.
Yeah, especially at that proof point, no doubt.
Very balanced, very nuanced, high rye, really, really well balanced with corn, wheat, and barley. So, this is what we do, man. And again, at the end of the day, it's about bonding. It's about
absolutely.
And that's so special for us. Paul, obviously the label's too big, but look how cute that 375 is, dude.
Oh, that's awesome.
I know. We finally got the
nice.
I don't think we're not going to do the emboss on the 375 right now, but that's the other thing we want is accessibility. So we're going to have these across our portfolio, but just to be able to grab a 375, take off and go. It's pretty special for us. And
you're gonna do a 3-pack or anything like that, or the different ones?
That's
the 4-pack, I guess, if you include the bottle and bond in there.
That's the idea. One of my favorite gift ideas ever that I used to send to so many colleagues, so many bosses, agents, managers, all this stuff.
Sure.
Because my dad and I, I traveled traveled a lot.
Mhm.
And couldn't always find American whiskey, but the thing my dad and I always drank was Johnny Walker, Johnny Blue, which you can find anywhere. It's a little pricey, but you knew
Right.
just like bam. But one of the best things was I remember getting those 3-packs, and you could send them to people, and they just loved it. And you didn't really have those for bourbons, and I was like, why wouldn't you have
You're
those?
right. They really don't, do they? Yeah. There's
No.
very few I've ever seen. That's true.
So we're gonna do them, and they're gonna be very special. And
That's
then
awesome.
you got these amazing little 3-pack.
Oh, crap, they're gonna be like super nice and everything. Shit, that's great.
Oh man, we're not fucking around.
We have a whole rebrand coming next year.
Okay.
Actually, we have new glass. We're gonna have new bottles, and we're also gonna have our labels are all gonna transition to look very much like
this one.
this.
Wow.
Yeah. So all of the entire Brothers Bond family will have the gold tree as a symbol of unity for all the SKUs. So you'll be at the restaurant, you'll look in the back bar, and you'll see that gold tree from 30 feet away. And that's something that was important to us. So actually, this is our new bottle, which is it's very similar. It's slightly larger in terms of length.
Okay.
It's a little bit longer, a little bit thinner. And it's just everything's just going to be slightly more refined. It's Brothers Bond 2.0.
And it's super consistent. Like it looks like a family, and that was the thing. Even from the very beginning, we talked about it. And Vincent Hanna, our CEO and our co-founding partner, said from the earliest stages, which is, listen, what you guys have built is a platform. The profile is so nuanced, which, we look at the 80 proof, then you look at the Cask Strength, so many awards. So anything we launch is going to have a very similar or the same DNA. Because if you think about it, what does a family have the same thing of? DNA.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so because this DNA of this Brothers Bond is so potent and so delicious, we get to build that across our portfolio. And like Paul mentioned, it's this 2.0 version. It's refined, it's cohesive, and it feels like a family. So it's there. You're like, hey, that's Brothers Bond. That's what I'm going for.
Yeah. So how many blends did you guys go through prior to your original batch coming out? How many times did it take to figure it out?
And we blended morning, noon, and night really excessively. So this is.
Are you talking about the original?
Yeah, the original. Before it came out on the market, like how many iterations of it you guys had to go through and different grain varietals and all that good fun stuff?
Hundreds. I mean, you think about like. By the way, now getting this place. By the way, this is our 7-8-year-old wheated whiskey that.
Oh, very cool. When is that coming out?
Listen, right now it's a blend of 7 and 8, and the 7s will be 8s. Actually, I just looked; it's more like 8 months. So it just depends on if we're good with 7 or we're good with 8. It's magic. I would drink it over any wheated bourbon. Nothing saying disparaging or not sounding humble. I drink it over any wheated bourbon in the world. That's why I drink this over any 100. Over anything. This is our portfolio. This is Paul and I. This is our palate, right? If you came to our home, this is what we'd serve. But like, it doesn't stop there. I mean, like, actually, look at this. This is my desk. Like, look at this. It's just
that's awesome. It's
and
just covered in whiskey. I love it.
Spencer and I, we just pulled like 70 bottles off of my desk.
Crap.
What we did. So it's exciting. I know you probably want to talk about some of these other blends within the portfolio, but obviously just to break it down, we've got our 80 proof flagship, which is 22% rye, 65% corn, wheat, barley make up the rest. We kind of keep those secret. It took us almost 6 months just to blend that. We got the 80 proof. We've got our rye, which is our second, which designed for the gatekeepers, right? This was we blended this for the bartenders, the GM.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? We should probably actually go, since we just did bottle. We'll probably go back down and I think we'll go to the Regen from the Dublin Bond. I think that's going to be a similar profile.
That'll work.
This regenerative whiskey, which Paul and I are beyond proud of, people, they're trying to wrap their heads around it, but we made this from regenerative whiskey, regenerative grains.
Okay. What does that mean exactly? Just to people that don't know what that means.
Yeah. So the idea is that when you talk about regenerative agriculture, you're talking about fields that were grown without tilling, right? That's the big thing about an agriculture, tilling the soil.
Mm-hmm.
Little did anyone know, tilling is actually the worst thing you could do to soil. It's like when Paul and I tell people that, they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because that's what we're so used to seeing, right? The big dip, up all that dark, oil. Well, there's a microorganism network, a neural fungal network that lives in soil. Soil is actually breathing. Well, if you cut it up, it destroys it, kills it. And
that's a problem.
It's a big problem. And it prevents that soil from sequestering carbon. But also, too, what it does is, it's just so crazy. And again, Paul and I, any of us describe this from our team to people. They're like, I had no idea. When you till soil, you release carbon.
Okay.
The one thing we all don't want in the air. And so these grains come within 5 to 15 miles of the distillery.
Awesome.
We distill this down in Carolina. I don't know if you ever met Pete Barger down at Southern Distilling. Do you know Pete Barger?
I do not know who that is.
Well, you will, man. He's really a Renaissance man. He's an engineer and an amazing whiskey distiller. And he and his wife Deanna have this unbelievable company. But it's the cleanest distillate you will find anywhere.
That's
so
awesome.
much so that we lose comfort 5 to 7% proof gallons a year because Pete and Deanna, the distillate is so pure. We'd rather lose the distillate than have it not perfect. And so with what we wanted to do, with Paul and I wanted to do with this, even 5 years ago, we were like, wait, how do we get 3-year-old whiskey to taste like 5 or 6? Because 4 years is time to wait. So we went into barrel innovation, and there's no better person to go into barrel innovation with than Pete Barger. And so we have a proprietary toast profile.
Oh, awesome.
That no one has.
Okay.
And because the distillate's so pure, so that grain comes off of the truck into the and it runs over the mill. Not a hammer mill. The hammer mill, it gets really hot and scorches that corn, and then it goes into the cooker. These are run with air, so there's no friction. Getting an old plate, getting milled, you taste it. It's this beautiful, unbelievably sweet, nuanced corn. Goes into those unadulterated.
Okay.
And then we have this. So basically what you're doing is, and what Paul and I are so proud of is, even the high wines that come off that still are so pure and delicious, but that's what you're putting in the barrel.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Effectively what you're doing is you're depending, because your distillate is so pure, you're depending less on a char of a barrel with all the carbon.
Mm-hmm.
Carbon char pays for the sins of distillation.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You're relying a lot less on that barrel to pay for those sins. So what you're doing is getting this extraction that's unparalleled. And that's what the regenerative whiskey is. So it's our 3-year, and we blend a 6-year. And one of the things, and Paul and I, we love this, our 6-year, actually this is our 6-year, but we blend them together. Paul and I never thought we'd release anything under 4 years. This says age minimum 3 years. It's really a 3-year and a 6-year. And the 6-year is a really beautiful whiskey, but it's the cooperage, the wood is from way up north.
Okay.
Northern wood. It's a much slower process.
Like Minnesota type?
Exactly.
Okay. Kind of what I figured.
Very dense, very slow, really unique profile.
I love our regen.
You smell that nose, guys?
Sipping it, it's so good. You have the regen in front of you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's freaking great stuff.
It's that toast and that nuance grain. Even Fred Minnick, we were talking, Paul,
Unique.
Fred was saying this too, is like it's just the nuance of that grain because it's just so pure, you know?
Yeah, I know, because we had Dr. Don here a couple weeks ago, and he was talking about you guys. So that's what he's like to tell you guys hi. So it's pretty cool that he was here. So
Who was that?
Dr. Don Livermore.
We know Don.
I figured, yeah, he's like, oh, I was telling me what you guys were calling. I was like, oh, you got to tell the guys hi. They're doing great work.
Yeah, we love that guy.
Yeah, he was here at the castle teaching a master class last week, so it was fantastic.
Right on, man.
Confidentially, not so confidentially, because we're live.
Yeah.
Don Livermore is a true, not only hero, but he's a mentor.
He's amazing.
To Paul and I. And he is, Dr. Don Livermore is in great part to why we have the type of company that we have.
Perfect.
Learned a lot from Dr. Don Livermore.
Yeah, I learned. It's crazy what you can learn from that guy. Justin spent about 13 hours with him last week. And so, yeah, he's just unbelievable. The knowledge in that guy that he has is just totally wild.
And he's so fun.
Oh, he stayed here till 2:30 in the morning. We had a blast with him.
Man. And, he taught Paul and I a lot. And it's a humbling thing when you're with a guy like that has just, I keep this with me at all times. It's never far from me.
It's a Don Livermore headshot.
Oh, I left it in the office, actually. It's
Shirtless.
not very far from me. I got my Don Livermore, my J.P. Weiser journal that I.
Oh yeah, those are cool. Yeah.
The flavor wheel, actually, it's with you, Paul. But he created this damn flavor wheel.
Nothing's wild. That
Paul and I studied. Well, he's a doctor.
That to say the least.
PhD in whiskey, and you study that flavor wheel. It's not something you can talk about with other people.
No,
we talk about it in the confidence of our that beautiful little space Paul's in. But you start talking about this shit, people, their eyes glaze over and they're like, "You guys weirdos."
Well, we're all excited about it, so it's all good.
But what Dr. Don taught us within that flavor wheel is you can, when you understand the science, you understand what flavors are a result of what science. Well, whatever your palate is, and fortunately, Paul and I have the same palate. We agree on everything when it comes to whiskey. And
Perfect.
It's insanely helpful to look at. And you're like, oh, this didn't work. And then you look and you're like, oh, it's this type of alcohol that was produced because of this. It's pretty special.
There's nothing like it on the world. It's the only thing I've seen remotely like that. It's something else.
Yeah, Corby, or Pernod is, they're very blessed to have him.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. That's for sure. You guys' stuff isn't coming from a bad place either. Last time I checked, you're working from the best in the world, so
it's pretty wild, man.
But the fact that because I don't know how many barrels, of course, MGP has, but it's a lot. And the fact you guys are able to select all the amazing things you guys have access to is unbelievable. And then to be able to put that blend together and come up with this great stuff is just truth. And especially you guys spend, like you said, unbelievable amount of time blending this together to figure out, you can't just do this. Like, it takes so much time and passion, like you said, in order to create this beautiful bonded whiskey. It's just fabulous stuff, though. And it's funny putting this stuff in front of people that are like, big whiskey snobs. Like, just try it. Don't worry about what it is. And like, oh, this is really good shit. I'm like, well, it's from Ian and Paul, and it's awesome. It's like they're like, shit, this stuff's actually good. So it's great to blind people on it. So I always enjoy that when they find out the hard way. It's fabulous.
What they go in with a presumption that
exactly, that it's not going to be good. Blah blah blah. I'm like, no, it's actually good, guys. Like, and that's the thing, is we're really protective of our brand too. It's like only people come, they're making really good stuff. It's like, you guys' stuff is great. So, like I said, super excited for this stuff.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Because Paul's such a big celeb, they think that we're like, rolling in it. And so,
right.
You know what it is, dude? Actually, I think it's with you, Paul. Oh, see here.
Why is everything with me, bro?
I think I left it there because we were blending our micro batches. Actually, here's some
underwear at my house. What is this?
You look at this. These are all
love letters to me.
So what's so wild, man, that if you think of like inventory management, you would have told us, 5-6 years ago, asked us what inventory management was of whiskey, it's been like way over our heads.
Sure.
The reality of it is to manage that inventory, and we get to do it with our dear brother Sam Schmelzer. It's weird, dude. So think about this. You've got you've got some variables, right? Obviously, you've got temperature is a variable, whether it's the winter, summer, fall, spring. The ability for that distillate to either really come together or start to expand, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's about 3 different times of distillation. You're looking at summer distillation, which typically our 80 proof is.
Okay.
A later fall-ish distillation period, which mostly 98% of is our rye, believe it or not.
Makes sense.
And you get into this groove where you're like, okay, we've eaten enough shit to realize we've made some mistakes, and this is where the managing the inventory, where it's the red eyes to northern Kentucky, diving,
sure.
And tasting all these barrels. So you're not talking about like 5-10 barrels. You're talking about 1,000 barrels.
Yeah, which is wild.
And so then you start to put the pieces together, and you realize the science and the nature and the flavors start to become consistent. Whereas our rye is literally one particular cooperage. The only rye that we bottle, which is redefine what rye was for people, is one particular cooperage, and it's typically in a later fallish distillation, meaning that early spirit had a more even temperature, and then it got cold, it got to turn, got to really come together, and then it kind of expanded as this got warmer. Always. That's this rye. This is.
Are you guys finding time of day makes a difference too for when you guys are bottling and taking it out of the barrel at all?
Well, I'll tell you, earlier in the morning, listen, I'll tell you one thing we learned big time, and this is like behind the scenes, kind of embarrassing, but we learned it big time. We wanted to push for an October release of this bottled and bond. Okay. This is our highest rated, 98 points, bottled and bond, expensive, talking about, this is a 7-figure dump of whiskey. Damn. Yeah, that's. Never, ever again will these two right here dump this kind of whiskey in the summer. Sure. Never. But we wanted it done to line up with San Francisco, because there's and the Tasting Alliance has just been so special for us. But we dumped this in like July, and it was like so scary because barrels are hot, things are hot, right? And then you batch proof all this, not proof it, but you batch batch test all this, and sometimes you've got to move things around, you got to add to this, and and some of these barrels, 7 years depending on where they are, but a lot of the stuff up top, one of the cooperages was not super duper duper. Not that it wasn't reliable, but there was a lot of leakage, and some of these, that's the problem. Like, 25% in there. Oh, jeez. Yeah. It was brutal. A lot of key learnings.
Yeah, I'd imagine. Don't do business with them again. That's for damn sure.
Well, it's a lot of factors that go into it, but what was in there? Yeah. Damn special. Okay. Well, and so finding these nuances, and then we find you get this. You just hope it works, but then you start to get accustomed to the science more. But so, we got a huge binder, and you're looking at the variability of thousands of barrels, and then you break it down like, our Cask Strength, which is our most awarded, multiple double golds, finalist for best in class. This stuff is the big brother on steroids of our 80 proof, right? Yeah. Beautiful stuff. This stuff, Paul and I.
By the way, I'm just now seeing that people can leave comments.
Oh yeah. They're on your screen.
I didn't see it.
You can certainly take any of their questions.
Yeah, go to comments, click on comments, and there's all these comments.
Oh my God, this is amazing.
Yes,
I
there's
didn't know
tons of
that.
people in here watching. So
I had no idea. Hi, everyone.
Oh, that's actually pretty cool. So Andy Menken, 20, said, I get the feeling you guys wish that their fame wasn't as closely tied to the brand because they're legit building a brand that's not a cash grab. That's super cool of you to say. I mean, listen, it's true that you want to rise above that. That's why we're a quality first company. If it's not quality, there's no point in putting it in a bottle. And that trust and transparency is what is going to build a legacy brand. Because
I wish more brands felt that way.
who wants to drink shitty whiskey?
No one. Someone does, just not me, not you guys. That's for damn sure. I mean, unless you're gonna mix that crap. I mean, I guess whatever. But yeah,
Yeah.
not
This
exactly the best.
was something that became so amazing. Hey, Paul, this one's for you. Hey, Sugar Kitty.
Oh, what's my favorite New Jersey diner? Oh my God, I don't remember anymore. But there was one that I used to go to all the time. Oh God, it was on Route 9. I forget. Jesus, I forget. I moved out of Jersey so long ago now. I'm gonna go there for Thanksgiving, so maybe I'll pop in. I'll let you guys know.
Paul, do you remember the Empire Diner in the city?
Yeah, of course.
It's closed now, but like that place, oh my God. I remember walking in there at like 4 a.m. and you'd see, like Robert De Niro and all these like cool people who had just been, out in the night, just crushing it. My God. So let's look at some of these. This is really cool that you can actually do this.
Yeah, we got a lot of people from Canada, Germany, all of the United States.
Barbara, as I've given this as gift many times. Barbara, by the way, thank you for that. And that's, by the way, one of the things we wanted to sort of get across on this, if that's cool with you. We're a small, tiny company. I mean, we did all of this year with a sales team of like 3.
Damn, that's impressive. You guys have just 3 salespeople.
Dude, it's crazy, man. I mean, we're in 24,000, I think 100 distribution. But Barbara, the gifting side of this is what's so unique. Like,
I can see that.
because you can get a lot of people out of things, but the connectivity is a gift. Whether you're a college student coming home and you want something for your dad that you can bond over, or we see parents who watch this with their kids when they were young.
Sure.
Or come home. We're going to make some really great cocktails over the holidays. These were the guys that we bonded over. Pretty cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think the first people in here, I think this fans here from Australia as well. So all over the world, which is great. So
Donald Rand said putting nitrogen and minerals into the soil. So one of the things is, Paul, our cornfields in North Carolina the cover crop, we do winter radishes, and these are Pete Barger's fields.
Okay.
And you do winter radish corn. I mean, the corn in our whiskey it's unbelievable. That winter radish, if for anyone who wants to know or is confused about winter radishes, you put as a cover crop after you harvest that corn. Keep that ground covered over the winter so that you don't lose soil. And it injects, replenishes a lot of that nitrogen back in the soil that corn needs. So it's really an incredible regenerative loop.
What type of corn varietal is it you guys are using?
This corn varietal, you talking about the regen?
No, like what type? It's like, this love is just yelled into is like, Oaxacan or Bloody Butcher, purple, red, red, stuff like that.
So I have dad brain right now. Hold on. I'll tell you in a second.
Okay. It's all good.
No, I can tell you. Let me look at my notes. I'm blanking right now. I was up every hour on the hour last night. Hold on. I'll tell you right now.
Awesome. Good times with that.
Yeah. It's called having kids, man.
Yep. No, I understand.
Yeah, it's because I kept FaceTiming him,
Yeah, mine are almost 17 and 12, so I feel you. I've been there. Then it just gets harder later. They have other issues you have to deal with.
You know why? You know why I don't have kids? Because everyone who has kids complains about having kids. I just got to worry about picking up my dog's poo,
That is a simpler.
which I
There's
don't
no
always
doubt.
do. No, I'm just kidding.
And they love you no matter what, right?
Yeah, exactly. I don't have to deal with it.
Yeah. They also lick their own asses and can clean themselves. So
It's also true. Oh.
We are doing a whiskey and wax snowboard waxing. Hell yeah, I'm a snowboarder. Event. Hell yeah.
Very cool. That's awesome.
And you're going to feature bottled in bond. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you.
yeah. Wait, where's that going to be?
I don't know. I need my board waxed.
I'll wax you.
I'm ready for the season, bro.
I'll wax.
You know me. I love my snowboarding.
There's your dog now.
There's my dog. Look at that sunset. Wow. So beautiful.
Where's this place that you can wax boards and snowboard? And then
I don't know. I have no idea.
Guess she needs to tell us.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. I'm going to take a screenshot of that. Nova Scotia. Yeah, please. Hey, by the way, if you're in Nova Scotia, Jan F said, we are the closest to you. I wish it was there in Nova Scotia. But we are at the SAQ. So we are in Quebec. That's about as close. Christy Schwab Wells said, you two are crazy. LOL.
She's talking about the two of you, not me.
Yeah. Truer words have never been spoken, my friend.
It's part of the requisite for being a whiskey. You have to be crazy. It's a requirement.
Exactly.
Otherwise, it wouldn't be any fun. It wouldn't be any good.
Well, I will tell you, you do. Barbara Pace said, I've gotten a group of my friends drinking BBB and they love it. Thanks for that, Barbara. It's, I will say this, and not to sound like, I'm not trying to sound ungrateful or not together, but I think in those quiet moments, like you sit and think about what you've done or what you've built. I don't think Paul and I, well, I could tell you with due certainty, we would not have started this if we didn't have the engine, right? The massive engine that was Vampire Diaries or our fame.
Right.
This is the single hardest thing I've ever done in my career, without a doubt. Like there's no variation.
Yeah, there's no cheat code. There's nothing you can do. Can't beat time. It's just, it's one of the things you got to do it over and over and over and figure it out. There's no other options on this.
The nose on that region. All right. Do you have any of this Cask Strength poured?
I do. It's freaking awesome. I'll pour some more because I just finished it.
Dude,
It's freaking great.
I
might like this bottle a wee bit since I already drank half of it. So
Cask is the
Not
one
today.
that everyone goes bananas over.
yeah, everybody's like, that thing is stellar. I'm like,
Speaking of-
fucking awesome. So,
So people always look at me like I'm crazy, and they say like you can't speed up time. But one cool thing is you can speed up how you open up your whiskey, and if you don't want to wait, I always just give it a little as I spin it. Put a little air in there.
yeah, sure. It takes the alcohol vapors out.
But you do get in this ripe banana.
Yeah, totally agree.
Nice ripe banana. Now in the 80 proof, which actually we might kick up to 85 proof.
Oh, nice.
It's
It's on our pass.
It's actually really beautiful. You don't notice anything different other than bigger citrus notes, a little bit of honeysuckle in there. It's really special. But this
Sounds good.
Cask Strength, people drink this and they're like, wait, I don't understand. I'm drinking 115.1 proof whiskey, and you're
Yeah,
like,
it doesn't taste anywhere near that hot. It's just great whiskey.
I mean, barrel proof, comes out of the barrel. It's unfiltered. It's uncut.
Phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Yeah.
Unbelievable. People.
I'd recommend all their bottles, guys. I mean, there's nothing. All of them are good. Just depending the mood you're in. I think that's really what it comes down to. What mood you're in, which one you want to drink. Some days I'll drink the Cask Strength, sometimes the rye. Sometimes the bottle and bombs. We just got that. That's great. So that's another one to go to on a regular basis. And of course, that's the regular one, which I really enjoy with, like making cocktails with. So it just really depends what your mood is that day.
You know, man, I'm looking at some of these comments, and it is really special. I'm really grateful because it's, you know, by the way, what's so cool is Paul and I have actually never done one of these where it's a live interaction.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
It's super
doing this then.
But, you know, I'm looking at some of these comments, and it's all, and thankfully, geez, Louise, thankfully they're complimentary. But
Right.
we are a
The only negative comments I heard were about your muscle shirt.
you know what? It's quite hot here, and I cut this up with my daughter. Look at it. I cut it up with like first grader scissors.
Oh, there you go. The elementary school scissors. There you go.
It took me about a half hour. I should have just gone downstairs and gotten the real scissors. But these comments sort of say one thing, which is bonding, introducing them to new people, bonding with family. I know, or someone, my wife watched the show, my kids watched the show, sucked me in. Let me, try this, probably some bullshit brand. And then you realize it's about quality. And because, Paul and I, like I mentioned before, we came from the entertainment space. What you learn is shared experience bonds people.
Totally.
Bridge bonds people. Bourbon bonds people. And that's what's so special. Paul.
Which is why we're going to come out with our line extension, Brothers Bondage.
Brothers Bondage. Yeah, it's instead of 100 proof, it's 1,000.
You're really bonded. You can't go anywhere. You're handcuffed.
Forced to drink it all day long, right?
Comes in a bottle,
It's a permanent IV drip.
So Andy said, any desire to release a limited edition bottling. So one of the things that we get to do, Andy, actually, with our dear brother Pete Barger down in North Carolina, the line is so small. I mean, it produces a lot, but we can be on the line, and it's pretty special. And so, to answer your question, yes, there is one blend that we're going to bottle that will technically have enough touch points, not a bunch of bullshit, enough touch points, because Paul and I are going to be involved. It's actually going to be considered hand bottled.
Oh, very cool. That's awesome.
It's pretty damn sweet. It's pretty damn sweet, and we're really excited about it.
When do you think that's going to come out approximately?
It'll be end of 2025.
Okay, cool.
And it's like this. So Bottle and Bond is taken off in a way now. We sort of see the trajectory. I think this is going to become quite a flagship of the brand just because of the profile. We're also, Paul and I are insanely excited, about this 7-year, whether it's going to be 7-year or 8-year wheated. This is going to, I think, really blow people's minds. This has been really a labor of love, and really, again, going back to inventory management, I'll tell you, man, and which Paul and I have learned a lot, which was key learnings. Some of those barrels at the top of those rick houses, the angel share is so high that you just got to get comfortable with it. But because a lot of that whiskey that's in there is really special. Mm-hmm. But this 7-year is something that we're really excited about. And we've built such incredible partners, both the on-premise space and the retail space. This, I think, is going to really have people going nuts. It's very special. We did.
Speaking of that, how many states are you guys in? How many other countries are you guys in? Because since we have an international audience, just to people get it.
Well, we just launched in Europe, and we are in basically in online only for now, and most of the countries in the EU. I think for the most part, it's on our website, and you can buy it online only for now. But still amazing because we have so many fans in Europe that were dying to get it, and now they finally can.
Good.
We're not in Asia yet or South America, but we will be soon.
Okay. Are you guys in all 50 states as well?
I believe we're in 40,
40
47 or 46.
Okay, so pretty damn close. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you
47,
can't get it, a friend can get it for you. That's what matters.
Yeah, exactly.
48
And we're also in Canada.
Yeah.
Perfect. Are you guys in LCBO? Or are you guys?
We're at LCBO in Canada.
Dude, so we're the number 2 selling bourbon at the LCBO.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's got to be number 1, right?
And we're at the SAQ, and we're also in BC.
Cool.
Fantastic. I mean, we blew through so many cases in BC in like a 1-month period. That was unbelievable.
Sweet.
Yeah, so it's really exciting, man. Like we're really over the moon about this. But Europe, South America, Asia is about to go off, which is exciting, man. Listen, for us, it's about redefining what American whiskey is at home and abroad, right?
Sure.
For us, that's all it's about. And again, it's also too. It's about, it's about those two qualitative, or it's about those two sort of quantitative touch points: story, quality. And I think that people, whether they're going to a bar or they're going to a small liquor store or a Tesco or a Carrefour or any of these places abroad,
Right.
They're saying, wait, I've heard about that. This is an American whiskey that is so well made that people all over the world are going nuts for it. I'm going to try this.
That and the fact that you're going to buy another bottle when that one's finished. Whereas we've all bought plenty of bourbon you're not going to buy a second bottle. But this one, you're definitely going to buy another bottle and probably several more bottles.
Right.
So that's the other good news is you repeat business on this. Like I said, anybody can make an easy cash grab. But this is actually high quality whiskey you want to drink on a daily basis and get all your friends to drink as well, which is even better.
Yeah. Do you see that? I don't know which one you have of the cask, but that ripe banana now is just.
Yeah. I don't even know what bottle this is. That is an old bottle, but hey fellas, 5:30, I got a jet.
Oh yeah, you got a jam. I'll finish up with him. Go, brother. Love you, man.
All right. Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it.
Guys. Thank you so much. Cheers.
All right. Cheers.
Later, brother. We got to keep Paul as a big celeb, man.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, people say so. Obviously, never say never. We got the rights back to V Wars from Netflix, which took 3 years.
Jeez.
But love to make that show. It was a huge hit over there, actually. But I would do that, and that would be the last show I ever did. But I left that entertainment space, build these companies, both Brothers Bond and the absorption company, and then raise these kids, and then launch our films. Kiss on Ground and Groundswell are effectively changing the way agriculture is literally done in this country and around the world. So Brothers Bond was sort of the tip of that spear, and it really allowed us a lot of entry points. People say, what the hell is regenerative agriculture? Why should I care? Well, it's like, hey, listen, man, there's a way that we can balance our climate, build a global $1 trillion a year carbon capture food economy, starting here in the United States, and inject hundreds of billions of dollars back into farming communities by drastically reducing the amount of inputs, agrochemicals that are going in.
Right.
So fungicides, herbicides, pesticides, fertilizers, and diesel to spray them all. Dude, it is so huge right now. The head of the USDA saw our first film, Kiss the Ground, took it to the upper echelons of the United States government, up to the president, and requested about $10 billion from the Inflation Reduction Act to soil regeneration, because we knew what we were talking about. And we ended up getting 20 billion.
Damn. All right. Yeah. That'll work.
For soil, by the way, mind you, it's $1 trillion fight, right?
Sure.
20 billion is an amazing
Still
place.
a very large number.
Where we get to actually start having farmers teach farmers, because farmers only trust farmers, right? And I don't blame them.
Seems fair. Yeah.
Totally fair. But so what you start to do is you start to create these areas and pockets around the country where these regenerative farms are now making more money than their conventional sisters and brothers around them.
Perfect. Even better.
At the end of the day, money talks, bullshit walks, right?
Absolutely.
And so once people start, when we start injecting $50 to $80 billion a year back into middle America,
that's a huge deal.
Huge deal, right? And that's kind of the reindustrialization of middle America, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to happen in South and Central America. It's going to happen in Australia. It's going to happen across Eastern and Western Europe, Asia. This is a big India, South Asia. India is a really big one as well. This is about to change the face of the planet, and we can balance our climate. So listen, it's crazy. Our whole team was just in India, and Modi won, better for worse. But I don't care or deal with politics, but that administration has given us sort of the keys to the kingdom of really getting in there and having all the science and the data and people and everything. But what we realize is we could be at zero net carbon. Think about that. We all the carbon that we produce. Everyone can fly their jets, and China and India and whoever is still going to burn coal. It's even burning in the air. But we just eat all the carbon rather than fighting each other and creating divisive sort of tactics to expel one another or destroy our bottom lines. Think about this. When we increase the soil organic matter by 1% globally, just 1%, we will be at zero net carbon. Can you believe that?
That's wild. Hey,
so the
awesome. Definitely want to do that for sure then.
Exactly, man. So the hurricanes and the storms and the tornadoes and the cyclones will become much less frequent, much less ferocious. Our systems and our climates and our economies will start to stabilize a great deal. This is world-changing stuff. And we've been able to do it with these little films, and we're doing it with this little bourbon company. And it's pretty special, man. Big deal.
It sounds like it for sure. Yeah.
It's crazy we're able to do this,
Yeah, from a little, because you guys have been around a little over almost 3 years now, I guess, approximately 4 years.
5 months or 3 years and 6 months.
So which is amazing how fast and how how good this stuff is for the little amount of time you guys have been around. And then what's your approximate case sales at this point in time?
So when we launched, obviously we were filling pipelines. It was also COVID. It was a big deal. We launched the brand. It was the biggest bourbon launch ever. We did, because the thing is we launched from May to May. Like we launched in May, right?
Okay.
So at a typical fiscal year, we were talking about from May to May.
Okay.
But in that first year, we did 91,000 cases.
Shit, and most brands would hope to do that, in 10 years, let alone in a year.
It's pretty crazy.
That's wild. Shit.
And we had a recall because of some issues with a production issue with flocking. That was a 7,000 case recall that we couldn't sell, and that would have been 98,000.
That sucks. So what do you do with them when it gets recalled? Does it dump it?
No, you know what we did?
Redistill.
So we went in and we recognized that it was just the proteins, right? I mean, it's nothing whiskey.
Okay.
That we would then wait always 60, 90 days, let that bottle oxidize and sort of become what it's going to become.
Okay.
We went through, and I would say probably took 5,000 cases of that through my team and my advisors, and literally took each bottle and just shook it.
That's crazy.
For about 20 seconds each bottle. Literally.
That's a lot of bottles to shake, though.
Yeah. Remember shake weights?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Now it's with whiskey bottles.
I mean, I've been running a company now for the last almost 5 years or 3 years, 3.5 years. So I'm definitely not the super picture of health and the beast I was before. But I'll tell you, man, my deltoids were the size of bowling balls. And we just shook these bottles until the proteins absorbed into the liquid.
Yeah.
And all clear and clean and perfect. Actually, this is one of these bottles. And it was fun.
That's crazy. You just shake it, it was gone. That's insane.
5,000 cases of it,
Jeez.
which is about this, 30,000 bottles.
Oh my gosh, that's insane.
Yeah, people loved it. It's like, and hand selling a lot of it.
Yeah, hey, whatever works at that point in time, right?
I mean, that goes back to the old Sarah Blakely thing. I did this with the absorption company. I don't know if you've seen the company that we produce, that Nikki and I have, called the Absorption Company. It's a vitamin company. People are like whiskey too. I'm like, yeah, man. Life's about balance, bro.
Exactly. You got to have both to have fun.
But we have a proprietary piece of technology that basically allows us to take lipophilic material, lipids, right? Because the patent is in lipids, not liposomes.
Okay.
So you can take a lipophilic material, a lipid, anything can be turned into an oil, vitamins, minerals, saffron, ashwagandha, anything, and turn it into go from a fat soluble molecule to a water soluble nanometric molecule that is up to 500% more bioavailable than anything in the world.
That's awesome.
Studied, other than an IV. People could argue, well, IV
Sure.
is bioavailable, but not something you can shake up in your car.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been building these companies simultaneously, raising these kids, and then releasing these films. And man, I'll tell you,
You gotta be tired, I'd imagine, at that point.
But it's magic, It's magic.
It's the only way to do it. You gotta do what you love.
You got to do it, and we're doing it for our kids. We're doing it for the planet, and happy, healthy people build happy, healthy societies by making happy, healthy choices.
True.
And with regenerative ag, when we start reducing a lot of the chemical inputs, we're getting healthier. Our public health is going to go up, while our public health care costs are going to go down, like a company, right?
Which is great for all of us.
Which is great for all of us. I want to say in don't quote me on it now. Again, I have dad brain. 2019 or 2020? I'll have to look. But we spent $447 billion on diabetes.
Jeez.
Which is a disease that's primarily food related.
Right.
Food system. So can you imagine if we had $80 billion a year injected back into middle America from stopping the use of all these agrochemicals, and we had almost $500 billion because of a made-up disease injected back into the system? Can you imagine what we could do? Tax bases would go up because farmers would make more money.
Sure.
School districts would get better because it's all based on money. Water districts would get better because it's based on money. After school programs would be implemented. Public health would go up. Community centers would get more powerful. I mean, you're talking about just this massive, really powerful, positive cascade. No one's talking about this stuff.
Well, look at our dads and people like that. They didn't have on these problems because what it was the food. The food's what's killing everybody. It's all the crap they add to the damn crops.
It's all processed. And it's funny, man. My old man. So my mom. Oh my God, going back and forth between the Regen and the Cask. My mom raised us on sort of Eastern medicine, but we were very poor. But we had speckled trout, redfish, Louisiana blue crab, shrimp. We had all this food, right? So the fact is, we were actually quite rich. We didn't know it, but no one was sick, and people were healthy and happy. And
Sure.
my dad is 80. He'll be 84 this year. And I said to him, I was like, Dad, you remember a time period, like a moment where things changed in the world, like a specific moment?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I noticed one thing. People started changing. And it's when we started pasteurizing milk, started pasteurizing dairy products. If you think about it, yeah, people get sick sometimes, but it's so funny. Alcohol is legal. Processed foods are legal.
Right.
All these prescriptions are legal. But the one thing that's illegal is raw milk.
Which is in reality insane.
From farms. It's crazy when you think about it. I grew up, my grandparents were Mississippi farmers, and the rest of my family were in Dumas, Arkansas. They were all farmers, or in Florida. And so I grew up on raw milk or buttermilk. My grandmother made buttermilk biscuits. We grew up on these.
Oh yeah, so my grandmother was too. She was grew up on a farm in Albany. Yeah, she loves buttermilk. Still does, and she's 96.
Right. And so you start to cross-reference the data, and you're like, wait a minute, something is systemically wrong. Well, we're about to change it, right? It's not all doom and gloom. This is all a lot of this is very, very positive.
Sounds like
it's like doom and gloom now, but it's a great, positive, bright future coming down the pipeline. And I always say this, like, I know it seems like very doom and gloom now, but the future is bright. Get your sunglasses.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I've kept you guys so long. I just want to say in the chat, in the comments, thank you for Christy Swab-Wells. So I have all 4 of the Absorption Company products, and they are amazing, and I can sleep great. Christy, thank you. Oh, dude, it's changing people's lives. The Absorption Company is literally changing people's lives. People that haven't slept in 20 years are sleeping. People that had
crap. My mom might need this because she can't sleep. That'd be awesome.
Oh, well then, dude, I'll get your address. I'll send you a bunch of stuff.
That'd be awesome.
Listen, I'm not a doctor. I can't prescribe anything. And
right.
It's technically a clinical term, so I can't use it publicly.
Right.
But who are stressed, our calms people down in a way that the big pharmaceuticals do. Restore is like liquid IV on steroids because it's these nutrients are nanometric. They're some of them are the most bioavailable in the world, other than and then the energy, which I live on, is no jitters and no crash. So
that's amazing.
It's crazy, man. And so
many people's freaking problems. It's not even funny.
It really is. And so when you look at it sort of from like that 10,000-foot view, supplement industry is about right now is about a $55 billion a year industry. By 2032, I think it's going to be a $77 billion industry.
Jeez.
And Nikki and I and my team, obviously our incredible team, we have effectively created the single most disruptive product within that entire category.
That's awesome. That's really great.
It's insane. And for me, it's helping people, right? That's all I care about. So between these, so I thank you all for the comments. I thank you for the trust. We built this, the Absorption Company, we built on trust and transparency. So we third-party test everything. And by the way, less than 4% of companies third-party test. It's like the Wild West out there.
That's really scary.
Pretty wild, right? So I thank you all for the comments, for the well wishes, for trying these products, for listening to us, and sort of elevating us to this place where people really respect these brands. And Brothers Bond has been this really bonding, incredible moment. And it's allowed me to do things that I never thought possible.
It's fabulous whiskey.
So,
and apparently cool other products as well you sell. So it's even better.
Yeah. Thanks for having us on. And to everyone,
absolutely. So glad you guys can make it. Yeah. If you'll stick around just for a few minutes, I'm going to quit the end stream and talk to you a couple other things real quick.
Great, brother.
All right. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, everybody. Thank you for the love.